Lagos, Nigeria, a vibrant hub of innovation and ambition. It's the annual Goalkeepers event by the Gates Foundation, a gathering that spotlights Africa's indispensable role in shaping our global future, aiming for a more equitable and prosperous world by 2030. Launched by the Gates Foundation, Goalkeepers is a multi-year campaign dedicated to accelerating progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, a period that brings together change makers from across the globe to share their stories.
We need action from everyone, everywhere. 17 Sustainable Development Goals are our guide. They are a to-do list for people and planet and the blueprint for success.
The SDGs, adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015, are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030. The Gates Foundation, chaired by Bill Gates, has committed billions of dollars to global health and development over its 25-year history. The Goalkeepers Report, released annually, tracks progress on 17 SDG indicators, highlighting successes and areas where more work is needed. Key figures, often cited, include the dramatic reduction in childhood mortality, a testament to global efforts, yet millions of children, primarily in sub-Saharan Africa, don't reach their 5th birthday. The Foundation's work touches on crucial areas like maternal and child health, infectious diseases like malaria, polio, HIV, agricultural development, and financial inclusion. Its belief is that sustained investment, particularly in human capital, is the bedrock of lasting change. Guests arrive the venue for the maiden edition of the Goalkeepers 2030 being hosted in Lagos, Nigeria's southwest region. The atmosphere here is electric in the Grand Hall as participants await the commencement of the event. The melodic power of an African choir fills the space, a stirring collection of tunes that speak to the continent's rich heritage and vibrant spirit.
Niger, how far? That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to Goalkeepers Lagos 2025.
This year's Goalkeepers 2030 lives up to its promise. The discussions dive deep into the future of progress in Africa, a future where innovation and collaboration are paramount.
Welcome to the stage, Dr. Olubayo Adekambi.
The early panel session focuses on scaling solutions, particularly in the critical areas of artificial intelligence and health. We hear from leading experts, innovators, and policy makers who are championing groundbreaking approaches. Imagine AI being leveraged to predict disease outbreaks, to personalize healthcare, or to optimize resource allocation in underserved communities.
Nkem, what was the first moment you realized that traditional financial solutions were not working for low-income women? And how did you approach designing something different?
Okay, when I started Mama Money, we started training women to gain skills that could help them generate income. So we taught them skills like baking, soap making. But after training these women, out of 10 women, 8 will come back to us and say, I do not have money to buy materials to start. So most of them kept coming back. So I sat down and I said, I needed to design something for the kind of women that we work with. So we came up with a simple, easy to use progressive web app. So with this app on low-end smartphones, the women could easily just request for microloans. For the women that do not have access to these devices, we had women leaders in their communities. So women started receiving funding. But we started getting calls from women across Nigeria. Mama Money, we also need your help. And we wanted to replicate this. So in 2022, we pivoted into agent banking. So what that did for us is that we have female agents like Mama Money representatives across different communities in Nigeria, conducting banking transactions for themselves, onboarding other women that have been excluded from formal financial services due to culture, religion, and these women would onboard them, conduct financial transactions for them, and also other people in their communities, and earn through this. You need to see these women. These women are women that never had contact with formal financial services. They don't know how to use simple banking apps, and we are able to teach them how to use this, using a simple, easy to use progressive web app and point of sale terminals. And you need to see this. We don't say low income women, we say no income women. Most of these women, they are churning out billions of transactions as we speak. Thank you.
Fantastic. So Bayo, I'm coming over to you next. Why is it critical that Africa builds its own AI systems? And what's at risk when we rely on imported technologies and global data sets that do not reflect our context?
Thank you. I think the dominant fact is that AI is about people, not about technology. And if AI will serve the people, it must understand the people. The richness of their language, their culture, their epistemology, their value system. Because it's those knowledge that AI will codify into sequence of instructions that people can interact with in solving everyday problems. Now, if you look at the whole construct of AI, it's all about patterns. AI must be fed with enough patterns to learn so that it can be used in many use cases. So for example, if I want AI to help me predict possibility of a disease, I need to train it with enough types of plants so that it can learn that visual, and when next somebody comes with a different pattern, it will be able to give an answer. But if I train AI with data that is biased, that is discriminated, that is not representative, it's not going to give me what I'm looking for. Now, if you look at all the most complex and sophisticated AI models that we have today, more than 90% of them fail on African languages and African context. Why? More than 95% of African languages are not currently digitized. So there is nothing for AI to learn from. So if AI cannot learn our content, whether in images, pictures, text, it cannot generate context-specific and nuanced answer for us to answer our everyday problem. For that reason, it is imperative to build AI that is localized, that is context-aware, and that is true to what makes us a people. And that aligns with the popular saying in Nigeria that we say, you cannot barb or shave a man's head in his absence. It must be there. And neither can you give a woman a very gorgeous hairstyle, even with the best of logistics system. She must be physically present, and she must be the center of attention as well. So we must be the center of attention if we want to build AI for Africa. Data must be collected by the people, the models must be built by the people, and the product must be nuanced by the people. Why? AI is a solution of the people, by the people, and to serve the peculiar realities of the people. Thank you.
Thank you to our panelists. This was an extremely energizing conversation. Let's put our hands together for the two of them.
These aren't just dreams, they are becoming realities. Beyond the policy discussions, the event is also a platform for inspiring stories. Stories of those who dared to live their dream, who saw a need and rose to meet it. From grassroots health workers in rural villages to tech entrepreneurs developing life-saving applications, these individuals are the true catalysts of change, demonstrating the power of local leadership and ingenuity.
In November 2019, my world stopped. My father passed away. A stroke triggered by undiagnosed hypertension and diabetes. Two treatable conditions. We just didn't know. That grief stayed buried until the world paused in 2020. It was in the silence of the lockdown. I asked myself, how many other people are losing their loved ones because they don't know what's going on in their bodies? And then I asked a second question. What can I do to change that? That's how Health Tracker was born. A digital health platform that brings lab testing into people's homes. In our first year, we conducted 5,000 tests. Today, we have delivered over 50,000 tests at home. We have created jobs and impacted over 200,000 lives through our platform. What began as a simple idea, helping people skip crowded hospitals to get into basic lab testing, has grown into something bigger. We started getting requests from women saying we want to self-test. So at first we said no, but then we thought, why not? That's how we launched HPV self-sampling kits for cervical cancer screening. And later, Lemon, the first self-sampling kit in Nigeria, made by us, assembled here at home.
Today, through my work at Bridges to Prosperity, we're building more than 650 literal bridges and roads across rural Africa, connecting millions of people to schools, markets, clinics, the things that are important to them, and the people that are important to them. And I believe that access is dignity, and infrastructure is justice made visible. And I believe that when we make that investment, it is because you have seen something worth building, right? But let's be clear. A single seed doesn't yield a harvest. What makes the difference is water, is soil, sunlight, and time. And that's the kind of patient commitment we need in Africa. Not a moment, not a movement, not a hiccup, not just applause, but patience. This is a bet I've made, and a bet I will keep showing up for. But I must admit, I'm not doing it alone. I have quite literally joined hands with someone who is also committed to telling Africa's story. Someone who I'm kind of proud to call my husband. His music blends rhythm, resistance, future, and memory. It is the reflection of the richness we all carry and the power that unlocks when we weave our strands into something bolder and newer. So please help me welcome the incredible Jude M.I. Abaga.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you're happy to be here tonight, let me hear you make some noise. What a beautiful room. This song is called Epic because it's time for Africa to rise and be epic.
Sometimes when I think about the trouble I see, sometimes when I reminisce the places I've been, oh yeah,
people's life is sweet, my life is diabetic. I need to find a medic. They're gonna credit, but there's no one to call, and plus I have no credit. I feel the doubt is creeping in, I know I shouldn't let it, but I've been reading what they wrote, I wish I hadn't read it. Maybe I could pick and choose, I wish that I could edit. I wish the wishes were the basis upon which we merit. But hey, this is life, and she's a cruel wife. Though she do me wrong, I gotta treat her right. Yo, I live with NEPA, I gotta be the light. The short black boy, baby, trying to reach the heights. Nothing is given freely, but we can live ideally. If we can seize the moment and own it, be the proponent. Yo, we all came to play a great part. And even Braveheart had a late start. Even great artists make fake art until they realize just who they are. And we are like movie stars, not aware of the who, the what, why we're here. Staring into the sky, trying to dry a tear. Waiting on a hero and deny a pair. What my message is really you, meant to change the drama that you're going through. You're the change, you're the hope, you're the miracle. And you are all the strength you need in times unbearable. Nothing is given freely, but we can live ideally. If we can seize the moment and own it, be the proponent. It takes a moment, but I hope you get it. The world's been waiting on you, goalkeepers. You're epic.
Thank you so much, Mr. Incredible. Before we get to Emma, I don't know if we heard it clearly when Eniola said she's built over 600 literal bridges across the continent. I don't know if you guys registered that. Connecting rural areas, markets, schools. Come on, can we give her a back? Come on. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable work. And then she built a bridge to Emma's heart as well. Very well done. Many thanks to Emma and, of course, that amazing choir. Now, earlier tonight, I talked about how Africa is a continent of young self-starters. When they have an idea, they roll up their sleeves and get to work. Now, our next speaker is one of those people. I'm pleased to introduce her. She's the founder and CEO of Food for Education, a homegrown Kenyan initiative that feeds more than 500,000 children every day. That's just the start. She'll talk today about how she's gotten this far and her big plans for the future. Please welcome Wawira Njiru.
My story started in a tiny kitchen 13 years ago. 25 kids, $1,200 raised from friends in university, and a simple truth: hungry kids can't learn. And lost days in classrooms mean lost potential. Today, Food for Education serves over 530,000 school meals every day across Kenya. It sounds like scale, right? But sometimes, as my Niger people would say, it's all packaging. Behind the numbers are difficult decisions and invisible infrastructure, especially when building in and for Africa. Let's face it, this continent, and I love it so much, is messy. But we keep solving problems in pieces, working in silos, then wondering why collective progress is hard. One pot for hunger, another for maternal health, a third for education. For the families we serve, it's never separate. These issues bleed into each other. And when we treat them as if they're separate, we don't just lose efficiency, we lose futures. My first big grant was 60,000 shillings, $60,000. I converted it to shillings 4 years later. It came through a cold application where I argued that school feeding was a climate change solution. It wasn't untrue. We now run on green energy, operate at near zero waste, and source locally. African ingenuity must step forward. Not someday, not eventually, now. Thank you.
And then, a moment of significant anticipation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage His Excellency Inua Yahaya, Governor of Gombe State, and Mr. Bill Gates, Chair and Board Member of the Gates Foundation. Please.
The Chair of the Gates Foundation, Mr. Bill Gates, graces the stage alongside Governor Inua Yahaya of Gombe State. Their discussion centers on crucial themes, funding and partnership, the very engines of sustained development.
It's very exciting that if you improve health, it actually accelerates the economic growth of a country. And eventually, we've seen with Asian countries that invest in health, they grow their economy and eventually they get to this middle income status and they're able to be basically self-sufficient. These next 20 years, the countries in Africa will get to that status. So helping them accelerate that, helping understand, okay, what are the unique local challenges? Which things do we need to make simpler, bring the price down? That's done as a partnership.
Right.
And the last 25 years went way better than I expected. That is, the childhood death globally and in Africa was cut in more than half. We went from almost 10 million worldwide to now less than 5 million.
Gates underscored the Foundation's enduring commitment to supporting local solutions and leveraging innovations, including artificial intelligence, to tackle pressing health challenges across the continent. He emphasized that despite 25 years of massive investment in Africa by the Foundation, true and lasting progress will ultimately depend on sustained investment in human capital, especially the continent's burgeoning youth.
Africa has this incredible asset of its youth, and that will make it the most interesting continent throughout this century. How much that youth can really drive progress will depend on the investment decisions we make in the next 20 years in their health and their education. And so if we prioritize that, boy, there's an unbelievable future here.
Providing a powerful case study of local leadership and impact, Governor Inua Yahaya of Gombe State detailed his administration's strategic investments in healthcare. He offered tangible examples of how Gombe is translating policy into practice.
I had to prioritize and face both health and education. In order to tackle health, focus on primary health care became very imminent. And then I had to focus on getting to the people in the right places. And we attempted by having to do with upgrading the primary health care system in not less than 114, which are the wards we have. And that I was inspired to do so because of my attendance of the Seattle, round table, which agreed to do one primary health care center per ward, per political ward. So because of that, I tried to see that work in Gombe, and we stripped all those 114, and now we've upscaled to 2. So we have now 2 primary health care centers per ward. We supply all the basic requirements of the hospitals, from electricity to water.
You took a big risk at the time because a lot of people at the time were playing it safe.
Oh yes, but I had to do so because I had to take that bold decision. Otherwise, I would not have achieved my aims and targets, getting to the people and building hopes in them and inspiring them to follow me as their own leader.
Governor Yahaya highlighted improved immunization coverage and increased access to primary health care in Gombe, crediting strong partnerships for these significant gains, demonstrating how dedicated local governance can drive remarkable progress.
As it is today, coverage of immunization is around 50%, and access, that is, to primary health care has also increased because now we have about 45%. And besides that, we equally have all the infrastructure needed
Yeah.
around the health sector.
Yeah.
You know,
and a decline in maternal and
oh yes,
mortality,
obviously,
which
because it's not only the resultant effect is not only in just attendance, but child mortality, maternal and child care had
mortality.
improved, and also mortality has reduced, and also the impact of the operations of the primary health care centers has reduced. Absenteeism, and the staff are well motivated, and they're doing much better than we wanted them to do.
Yeah, a round of applause for the governor, please, for everything that they've achieved in Gombe State. Bear with us. I'd like to call on Alhaji Aliko Dangote, who's in the audience here with us.
Also speaking at this pivotal event was Africa's richest man, Mr. Aliko Dangote, and his message was a powerful call to action for the private sector. He challenged them to step up their role in achieving health self-reliance, particularly in pharmaceutical production.
What we need to do is to make sure that we stop this health tourism. And we should now get into producing our own drugs. We should now make sure that when you are sick, you don't have to travel abroad. All of us, including myself, if we are sick, we shouldn't now, but we need to do partnership with Bill and other
let's
people.
Hear from Bill about that.
Dangote drew compelling parallels with the successful eradication of polio in Nigeria, a monumental feat he supported in partnership with the Gates Foundation. He urged for similar collaborative efforts to foster robust local drug manufacturing capabilities, ending the reliance on imports and ensuring health security for all Africans.
Africa could survive, my people could survive. This continent will shine, no, Africa will survive. Come on, Africa could survive, my people could survive. Come on, this continent will shine, no.
The Goalkeepers event in Lagos, while now concluding, serves as a powerful reminder that significant challenges remain on the path to 2030. However, it also underscores that concerted efforts from global partners, dedicated local governments, and the committed private sector are collectively driving real progress towards a more equitable and prosperous future for all.